Oh, man. On Bummer's community page, he writes some quotation that your lawyer has a right to come over and see you in detention. Who's arguing that? You have the right to call your family. No one arguing that. Okay, and so forth. And I'm thinking like, okay, what are you talking about? Who was ever arguing that point? Well, the fact is his lawyer didn't want anything to do with him, according to him. But sorry to even be talking about this dude, really, but he's on a one-way street to nowhere. Some of the shit he talks about is just absolutely ridiculous. Of course, a lawyer has a right to visit him, and if immigration is preventing him from doing that, well, I wouldn't understand why. Maybe he just pissed off immigration. And perhaps because, U.S. Embassy wanted nothing to do with him. He's fucking pretty much, get, cats out here. He pretty much pissed off immigration people, pissed off everybody. I don't think anybody was arguing that. Sorry to bring that up, but go. Come on, cats, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, jeez. Anyway, I don't think anybody's arguing that fact. Look, I'm not trying to throw him a lifesaver. I'm just kind of bewildered as to kind of how he plays this thing out, which makes no sensibility to me at all this whole time. There was possibly an out in this situation at one point, but he didn't want to take it. So, I don't know, you're supposed to feel sorry for him. When people try to help you, and I'm not going to say that Ricky never tried to help him. He obviously did a few things for him. Apparently it wasn't appreciated. So then he expects help. But then even CW came in and he had helped him out numerous times. And it went unappreciated. It's not how it works. That's your best bud. Somebody's going to give you a large amount of money. But you use that money for its intended purpose. That's the main thing, okay? And you got to take care of old business before you take care of new business. Like get all the fines and penalties paid off and all that shit. Okay, let's do some what ifs. Here's a good what if. Okay, what if immigration makes a very negative decision on me? Oh, that's a good question. Well, I'll deal with it. And if I had to go away, and under my circumstances, if it was proven or something, or they deemed it to be some kind of an act of undesirability, at most it would be a year. And look, I was away from Gilda for 1 year and 2 months. That was fine. We communicated, blah, blah, blah. It's not a big deal to me. There'd always be communication. And I'll be able to send some pretty good packages back over to Philippines, some Balikbayan stuff. I need a vacation anyway, but that's not the kind of vacation I want. But I'm not very confident that his wishes are going to come through with this particular situation with his girlfriend. And I'll probably know in a day or two on that situation. Now, whether or not I share that with you, that's a whole nother thing, but I'll probably know in a couple of days because he's investigating this. Actually, it's been quite a while. And basically, I'll use that word again. It's in an I'm just going to say it's in an investigation stage. Investigatory, okay. I think that's the word. If they were going to make a brash decision, they would have they would have just made it already. But like I said, there's no guarantees in life. Somebody puts a complaint on you, you got to take it seriously, and I take it seriously. Of course, I take everything seriously. Because sometimes you have to. Remember, I don't care what you are. I don't care if you hold an SSRV. I said on another show, you're still a fucking tourist out here, as far as I'm concerned. Well, you're not a native. Bottom line, let's just correct that a little bit. You're not a native. And if you're not a native out here, then, You're not really in the big status as you think you are with the SSRV. It's just that you have to go hold up a whole shitload of your money in a freaking bank somewhere that, you know, you can get access to, but then you're back to, you're back to the drawing board again. Pretty much. So why hold up your money somewhere? You just keep on renewing your stuff as long as you're able to. There's always a rainbow somewhere to even some of the most negative stuff that could happen to you. Because you got to find a positive with it. And it comes from within yourself. Upon negative situations, find the positive. For example, don't be doing shows when, it's obviously not a good idea when you got 5 libelous cyber counts on you. I mean, that's, that would like make sense to the common man or woman. That it goes against the grain of what perhaps the person's trying to do. And if his lawyer was listening to me, he would agree with me. Okay. Any educated lawyer would tell his client, don't. If you are a respondent in a case such as, this one, don't do any fucking videos. Because you're not supposed to have the phone for that purpose. Yeah, I could see where maybe, and I know it's not working this way, or that the guards hold it when he needs to use the phone. No, he's on that from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed. That's how he occupies his time and space. As would I, actually. If I was in that situation, I would. Imagine being a neighbor to him in an adjoining cell. Let's look at the worst scenario. I don't think he'd like me as a neighbor. I don't think he'd like me as a neighbor. I don't think he'd like me at all being in that same building. I can tell you that right now. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, God, I'll make his life a fucking living fucking hell. I'll tell you that. Trust me on that. Now, of course, we don't hope for that to happen, but nevertheless, this is a complaint, and I didn't commit any egregious crimes that would warrant me having to be arrested and put in a facility. However, let's look at both scenarios. I'll look at both. If I was to be in there, let's just say it would be really interesting. And that's saying the least. It would be really, I don't think he'd want me in there. I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, let's not look at the negative on here, but try to think about the positive. If you are in a situation, a hellacious situation that's self-created, it is not up for Ricky or anybody to help, or Brevis or CW or anybody. You got your ass in that situation. It's up to you to get your ass out of that situation. Now, I do question things like, why isn't his girlfriend's family helping? I would think if they love him so much as he claims that they do, sure, they can get some bucks together. Well, I think he's pretty much figured out now that he can't get any bail. I think he pretty much figured it out, that it wouldn't work for him. They could post a bond for you, but it doesn't mean you can get out. There's a lot of little intricacies with this that he's not understanding, as he doesn't understand this whole situation and how serious it is. But yes, that has come through my mind. I'm not going to lie to you about that. If she and her family loves him so much, what? He was looking for $50K. She's got a sister that seems to be very well off financially or very comfortable. She's got brothers, she's got this, she's got that. Wouldn't you think, unless there's just something more to the story here, sell the bike. But then he turned, no, it's the brothers using it and everything else. I mean, look, I know, I could only speak for myself and my own girlfriend, that, if I was like hard on money and I needed to get bail, if I owned like a vehicle That could be a car, that could be a motorcycle, whatever it might be. Fuck. She wouldn't hesitate. She wouldn't hesitate. She'd sell her jewelry if she had to. You know? She wouldn't hesitate to sell something to get me bail. That's why I kind of question this whole shit. That maybe he owes the family money for whatever whatever. Because it's not adding up, and I know a lot of you are thinking about the same thing too. In fact, a lot of you even mentioned that. Why don't you sell the motorcycle? And he came up with a bunch of excuses on that. It's a good question, isn't it? It's a good question. The family loves him so much. I think that's a little bit of hyperbole going on here. I don't think so. To tell you the truth, I don't think his girlfriend's family, his girlfriend Patricia, I don't think Patricia's family knows half the shit about him. Of course, that's my opinion, okay? And I'm going to stick to it. I don't think they know the full story. The true E. Hollywood story. I don't think they know it. Yeah, he's stressed out to the max. There's no question about it. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, we're not making fun of that, and I'm not making fun of it, but I'm just saying he's stressed out, and I understand why he is. But he's got to understand and accept the fact that even Ricky and anybody else says it, and a lot of people who were even followers of him would even say it, that, you kind of got yourself into that situation and you got to do positive things to get yourself out of it. Same as I would in his situation. I would have to do something, anything. Fuck. I don't care. Take a loan on a house, whatever the hell it might be, man. Sell a vehicle if you have one. Sell your jewelry. By the way, that's another thing. Well, we won't get into that jewelry thing, but there's a common sense thing about why Filipinos, they like to collect jewelry, and all that. My girlfriend kind of does that with her sister, who does not live over here in Santa Fe, of course, and she does not keep all this jewelry in the house. Just as a little disclaimer or notice, okay, for thieves. No, we don't do that. We've been ripped off before in the past, and we've been very careful ever since. But getting off that for a second, staying on it, actually. If somebody really loves you, they will do what they have to do to help you out. That's the way I see it. Whether it's a freaking motorcycle, it's only a material thing. A motorcycle, you'd sell it. Look, before having his motorcycle, well, it never was his anyway because she paid for it. But before that motorcycle was there probably wasn't any other motorcycles, right? Maybe there was some brother or somebody, but let's just say there wasn't. Now there is. Okay, but they didn't have one before, let's say. But it shouldn't be a problem to get rid of that now. You can get a few bucks, for that motorcycle. It's only a few years old, right? I know, you're all thinking the same way I am. We're on the same page, aren't we? I'm sure we are. So there's just a lot of excuses going around. This guy turned on me, or this one turned on me. And, the fact is that these people just don't want to get involved. They've seen how heavy this situation has become, and they just don't want to be involved, because they plan to stay in the Philippines. They don't want to get ousted. So, they're being very careful, and they're keeping their distance from him is what they're doing, and wisely doing so, really, because any association with him is just going to bring that other person down in some way. And maybe some of them got girlfriends, maybe whatever. Or maybe they don't want to leave the Philippines, at least not, in that way. Okay, but any involvement with this guy is just going to bring trouble because, let's face it, by his own demonstration, he brings trouble to everyone he touches in his life. And historically, that has been proven so. And I could say that very legally on if you don't think I can, put this statement to a lawyer. But then again, you don't have a lawyer. And I'm still trying to swallow that pill. Yeah, I think that he could have gotten into a situation with the lawyer where the lawyer said, fuck this shit. I don't need this. Or I'm not going to win this case. I'm in here to win something, not lose. That the guy is just too much against him. And the lawyer doesn't want to put his effort in. He's just probably pissed the lawyer off so much. And if the lawyer's been listening to his shows, he has not been saying anything good about his lawyer. So if he still is with his lawyer, I think that may be short lasting, or maybe the lawyer actually did leave, and he thinks he's going to be a Perry Mason, where he could get up there and represent himself, which would have to be. I wish that could be on camera, because that would be like probably one of the best videos ever in this community ever. It would be golden, the golden chalice. That would be something to see. Okay, I'm pretty good. I had a case thing going and nothing to do with the Hawaii thing. This was in Seattle, and I didn't win this thing, but I was not represented by a lawyer. But you would be surprised. You would think I was a goddamn paralegal, because the way I handled this with practice and research was quite professional. It really was. But unfortunately, there are a lot of legalities and forms and qualifications and different types of motions and all kinds of shit in a legal case you got to put in. You got to know how to do that. There were guys that were in jail for years getting life, and they studied law books, and they even they studied law, and they were able to come up with some stuff that really helped their own case. I mean, what choice did they have? They got every book on law that they could that pertained to their particular case and why they were imprisoned. There are a lot of stories about this, that people have actually done that. Whether they succeeded, I don't know. I imagine maybe some have. I don't know. But the biggest power is knowledge. It's not money. It's knowledge. Everybody thinks it's money. It's not always money. It's knowledge. And if you got knowledge and you're not a stupid moron, you might be able to save yourself. It doesn't always have to do with the peso or dollar. Not all of it, anyway. And if you really think you're going to get away with anyone trying to bribe anybody, you're kidding yourself, because that'll come back and hit you in the face in a big ass way. Because that person that maybe you get a bribe to, and listen up on this, if they got in trouble in some way, they're going after your ass, because they want to save their career. They're feeding their family. And you think they want to lose their profession because of you? Brother. That just ain't going to work your way. So trying to get people to bribe, CW's money, remember that, folks? CW gave him $50,000, and on video, repeat, on video, again, on video, he said that at $50,000 would get the prosecutor to change his mind on this. That is stupidity. Beyond belief, beyond any stupidity that any of us have ever heard in our years on YouTube and listening to channels and seeing what people have done. It's even 10 times more stupid than the guy that just got, taken by insurgents. I mean, yeah, come on in there and you tell them, yeah, I'm going to, I got money to loan and all this other shit. I mean, come on, who does that? And I got another guy that did the same thing. Philippine Dreaming is the name. And I heard his show, and cops came to talk to him and said, yeah, you probably should go to the city, to Dipolog or whatever it is, to be safe. It's about that time of year in elections and all that crap, and, maybe it's a good idea to do that. So he's telling, well, here's what I'm going to do. Sound like fucking, what's his name? World Zoom. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go stay over here at a relative's place, shows the house and everything. Oh, yeah, tell them where you are. That's right. Tell them where you are. Tell them. Tell them. Just like Goober made a mistake when he decided to go live in Car City. Where the hell else you think he was going to go to hide? Everybody's seen in the videos the background and probably recognized the background and all that shit. Some people just are stupid. Effing stupid. Ignoramuses. Morons. Peons. Brain dead. Lobotomized. I guess there's more words. I'll have to think about it. Look, When somebody, look, when somebody gets themselves into a situation, well, that's a key word. They got themselves into a situation. It's up to them to get themselves out of a situation because not everybody's going to help your ass. Because people are going to remember some bad things that you did to them. You know, even Glenn maybe helped them in the past, but I think that's history. I think that's history. And some people thought that maybe he was one of the backers because he used to run to Glenn all the time as a backup. Glenn, could you help me out with this? Help me out with that. You know, and I think Glenn was possibly in the picture. I don't think he is anymore. You know, it comes to a point when, you know, somebody don't mind helping you if they see that you want to help yourself. But when they see you doing the same thing over and over again, they give up on you, just like CW did. Now, CW ain't my favorite person because he tried to go against me, but at least CW is intelligent enough to say to everybody, look, I work hard for my money, and I'm sure that he does. I'm sure he does. He works over in United Arab Republic. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. And it was very kind of him at the time, I think, to try to give this guy some money. But then he woke up like everybody else did and said, fuck this shit. I work hard for my money. This guy don't want to help himself, so why the fuck should I help him? That's what it comes down to, and I'll leave it at that. Why the fuck should anybody help this guy if he doesn't want to help himself and he wants to be as irate, moronic, belligerent, and as much of a liar that he's always been and continues to be, and does not want to admit fault. Okay? And who knows what he's keeping from his girlfriend, too. He's only told her what he wants her to know. I'll bet the farm on that. He didn't tell her everything about what happened with other girlfriends and every damn thing else. Because if she had half a fucking mind, she wouldn't be with him. If she knew, just like watching a freaking television show, sitting there and watching what somebody did, like a fucking biography show or something, you know, showing the criminal history of some guy and all the crimes he committed, whether it was Bonnie and Clyde or whatever the hell it was, robbing this drugstore, doing this, doing that, you know, it's like the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. If that ghost could come to him and not only show him, but show everybody else, including his loved ones, what he has done in his life, they would have a clearer picture of what this guy is really all about. You all have a good day or night.